You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Welcome to Loves Field in Norman, Oklahoma, home to the nation's longest active win streak and the #1 team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners, welcoming in number 6 Arkansas for an SEC series that all across the country have had circled since the calendar came out, and this is why. Arkansas trailing Oklahoma by just 3 games in the SEC slate with 3 regular season series remaining. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher alongside the All-American Amanda Scarborough with you. Huge series for both programs. We'll get into the reasons why over the course of the night, Amanda, but for Oklahoma specifically, coming off back-to-back losses for the first time all year.
You don't see this very often with Oklahoma losing back-to-back games, but they're in a really tough part of their schedule, having to now play Arkansas, a top 5 team, and Texas last weekend, one of their rivals alongside their in-state rival in Oklahoma State in the midweek. On Sunday, Oklahoma was going for the sweep against Texas, but Katie Stewart hit the walk-off home run. That was a no-doubter. And then on Wednesday, they had to face Ruby Malin at Oklahoma State, who just did not go away. So much fight from OSU. And what Patty Gasso said about her team, they have been a little lethargic. Gave a lot of credit to Oklahoma State, but again, this is so rare that you see Oklahoma lose 2 games in a row. If they lose 3 tonight to a very good Arkansas team, that would be the first time since 2011.
You mentioned Arkansas being a fantastic team. They've got it in all 3 facets of the game, but offensively really showed something over the weekend after losing 1-0 in game 1 at Mississippi State.
Absolutely. This is a very veteran Arkansas offense and Arkansas team, and so to get shut out against one of the best pitching staffs in the SEC for Mississippi State, one of the best pitching staffs in the country, and then in the last 2 games put up 18 runs on the road against that pitching staff speaks volumes about Arkansas in the fight. Oklahoma is going to have their hands full with Arkansas tonight, led by Dakota Kennedy in their offense, hitting that 4th spot.
One of a long line of transfer hitters that have come to Arkansas under Courtney Deifel and flourished. She is no different. Tonight, this star-studded Arkansas offense will take on Audrey Lowry, who's become the ace for OU this year.
And in the Texas series, she pitched in all 3 games. She started Friday night and then came in relief on Saturday and Sunday. You can see how much they're relying on Audrey Lowry. And just think about the last time she pitched was against Katie Stewart. The last pitch that she threw was that walk-off home run. She gave up 2 home runs in that inning when she faced Texas when they were going for the sweep and got walked off on.
Patty Gasso said in the post-game presser after the loss to Oklahoma State on Wednesday night, this is uncomfortable for us to lose back-to-back games and to do it in the way in which they did. You referenced being a little bit lethargic. She said they felt like they just came out flat, Amanda, which is so rare for a program that usually brings the juice no matter who they're playing.
Yeah, you don't see it very often. It was like, is it a hangover from the Texas series, then having to play another rival in a midweek game? I mean, a tough turnaround. They played that midweek game at Devon Park, home of the Women's College World Series, in front of 9,000 fans. I mean, this is just a lot coming fast and furious at Oklahoma that they're trying to handle right now.
Reagan Johnson leads it off for Arkansas and looks at strike 1. Our home plate umpire, Marty Abizishin. Sean Schumacher at first base, Cameron Ellison at 3rd.
We're likely to see this every time that Reagan Johnson comes up, but there's going to be 5 infielders. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then nobody in right field. And because Reagan Johnson is more of a slapper, they're trying to really pinch the infield to make it hard for her to put the ball on the ground and use her speed or try to power slap through the infield.
All-time hits leader in the history of Arkansas softball, and this is her 203rd career start as the leadoff hitter. She has been the consistent table setter throughout her career.
And I think Patty Gasso right now possibly talking to Marty Abizishin maybe about the shift, and something about the shift I have a feeling about that she had to come in and talk to the umpire about it. Again, remember there's 5 infielders. Abby Dayton, who started the game on paper in left field is coming in to play second base, something that she did a little bit at Utah before she came here to Oklahoma. So still unsure exactly what was being talked about, but you can see that she's pointing out in the field, talking to Marty Abizishin about it. But this is going to be tough for Reagan Johnson with this shift with Abby Dayton on the infield.
1-2. Lowry has been so good this year, including a complete game shutout victory against Texas in a series win last weekend. Also came in and got a save against the Longhorns in the game that clinched the series for OU.
It's kind of a mixed bag for her, wasn't it, last weekend against Texas in a series where just as a sophomore, you know that she really grew up.
Slapped into the shift, and the throw will beat the speed of Reagan Johnson. One down.
And so Audrey Lowry is going to throw in the mid to upper 60s. Her go-to, the pitch that she throws the most, is going to be her drop ball down in the zone. She'll mix in her curve ball and her rise ball as well. Changes speeds a couple of different ways with her changeup and an off-speed pitch, something that since Jen Rocha has come back from her leave of absence in February and March that she's been calling more.
Now this Arkansas team returns 6 starters from last year's Super Regional group that forced Ole Miss to a Game 3, but they have sprinkled in some youth. Brindley Bain has been one of the top freshmen in the SEC so far this year. Ahead in the count 2-0 on Lowry, which was a recipe for success for both Texas and Oklahoma State. Getting ahead in counts, forcing Oklahoma pitching to throw strikes, Amanda, in counts that were advantageous to the hitters.
It's a great at bat already for the freshman in the box in this hostile environment. Taking some close pitches, working it to a hitter's count. It's not easy when you come to Love's Field. It's not easy when you're a senior. It's definitely not easy when you're a freshman. This is one of the toughest places to play. Brindley Bain, who's just had a terrific freshman year, earned being at the top of the order for Arkansas as a freshman.
Check swing on the 3-1 goes up to first, and a walk with one down.
So patient at the plate. I mean, usually you see freshmen who just their heart starts to beat faster. They get ahead of themselves, but Brindley Bain actually has the most walks on the team.
And we'll pass the bat to Ella McDowell in the 3-hole. McDowell last year was the first freshman in program history to earn NFCA All-American honors. Doing it while learning third base. Had previously been almost exclusively a shortstop. And again this year has had a great start to her sophomore campaign. Already more homers and runs scored than in all of last year combined. And works the count even at 2-2.
Well, you know that Courtney Deifel, the head coach for Arkansas, has so much confidence in somebody like Ella McDowell, because there were times last season when Courtney Deifel would write the lineup and she would put Ella McDowell behind Bree Ellis, last year's National Player of the Year. But as a freshman, she would protect her.
Chopper to second base, back on it, Agbayani, and the throw was a little bit errant. Garcia made the play. But no double play to be turned for Oklahoma. McDowell at first with 2 down. Arizona transfer Dakota Kennedy. Been so good in her first season in the SEC. Was the National Player of the Week after a series sweep of Auburn earlier in the year. Hard hit to first, scooped up by Bella Emmerling, and Lowry out of the first inning. Kendall Wells leading the charge for a program that has 150+ home runs already this year. The NCAA's freshman home run queen will bat when we return. Robin Herron is the Arkansas ace. She is in the circle tonight and will have to contend with the nation's top offense this year in Oklahoma.
Now, Robin Herron Sr. has All-American type stuff, the ace of the staff for this Arkansas team. She's just a fighter, so consistent in her career at Arkansas, and has game experience last year when Arkansas played against Oklahoma. They got to host them in Fayetteville and then also played them in the SEC tournament. So she's pitched a lot against Oklahoma. In game one, when she faced them last year in Fayetteville, she threw very well and ended up taking the loss because a bunch of runs came in that last inning.
This Oklahoma offense has been a little bit of a sleeping bear over the last two games because the rest of the year they have been chasing and rewriting the record book. Already, we're not even to the end of April.
They're so explosive. The records that they're setting within their program, the records that they're chasing or setting nationally within Division I as a team, and also doing it individually with Kendall Wells in the single season D1 home run chase that she is in as a freshman, chasing Laura Espinosa, who has hit 37 home runs. Kendall Wells somehow 32 home runs. She'll be hitting in the 2 spot. She is just a freshman, and it is just April 17th, and she already has hit 32 home runs. It's unbelievable.
Has homered in 7 of her last 9 games, including Wednesday night against Oklahoma State. A game in which the offense was a little bit flat, in the words of Patty Gasso. In fact, she even went so far as to say that we're usually the team that does the bowing up. We got bowed up on. And now she wants to see a response from her whole team, but specifically, Amanda, challenge the veterans within the program to hold each other accountable.
Yeah, I think that this is a huge moment for Oklahoma because their offense is the best in the country. And you want to come out on your home field after 2 losses and score early. But the thing is, Matt, it's just not going to be easy against a pitcher like Robin Herron, who's coming from the left-hand side and truly has All-American type stuff. She'll throw in the mid-60s. Her go-to is her curveball, her rise and changeup. So she'll split the zone vertically. Her rise will go up. Her changeup will go down. Her changeup is one of the best changeups in the country when you look at batting average against that pitch. And something that we saw Oklahoma do on Wednesday night against Ruby Malin was chase. When Oklahoma is their best version of themselves, they're making a pitcher bring pitches in through the zone. They chase for Ruby Malin, especially with her rise ball.
You referenced Robin Herron pitching against these Sooners previously in her career. Sooners went 4-0 against Arkansas last year, including with Herron as a starter. In fact, it was one of just 6 times in Herron's career at Arkansas where she went 5 or more innings and still lost. One of those came to Oklahoma. Interestingly, Amanda, this is the first time that Arkansas has played in Norman since the 2018 Super Regional, which was also the first Super Regional in program history for the Hogs. And it is a packed house at Loves Field. Kai Miner leads it off for Oklahoma. Miner, just a freshman, and yet batting .480 in SEC play to lead all players in the league. Behind in the count 0-2.
There's that changeup offered by Herron. Just wanting to settle into this game early. Again, it's just not easy to do in this atmosphere, in this stadium. It can get very loud, especially when Oklahoma grabs momentum. And the thing that you'll notice is that Robin Herron is, of course, going to try to work from ahead. But when she has 2 strikes in 2 strike counts, opponents are hitting under 100 against her. In fact, they're hitting .086. And if you're a lefty, that drops to .058.
Gets a strikeout on the 0-2, 1 down.
Gets a chase right there, very down in the zone, and like she took a little bit off of that, but went right at Kai Miner. She had that long foul ball that was well struck, and then she knew that she needed to expand the zone down.
Goes right after Kendall Wells.
Like a good pitch to hit right there.
It's one of the big questions as the SEC slate has unfolded. How do you pitch the freshman home run queen? Aggressively, apparently.
Yeah, when you go in, you have to go hard in. And when you look at Kendall Wells at bats that she has had a slight tendency to chase up in the zone with the rise ball. Herron going with that pitch for the 2nd strike to get her to chase. It gets so quiet when a pitch is being delivered to Kendall Wells here. You could hear a pen drop, knowing that in any count, at any time, Kendall Wells can leave the ballpark and this crowd would absolutely erupt.
32 of her 51 hits so far this year have left the yard. She has homered in 7 of her last 9 games and is approaching more records. The 1-2. Appeal up to first. Sean Schumacher said she did not go around. No relation. 2-2.
I was wondering when I saw Schumacher was one of the umpires. I was wondering if there was something you needed to tell me.
Knowing you and your prep, you would have already known that. How hard is it, Amanda, former pitcher, to prep for a hitter like Oklahoma has in Kendall Wells?
It's hard to prep for all their hitters, and to know that you have to come into this stadium and pitch against them and try to hold them down is extremely tough.
Wells goes down, and that's back-to-back Ks to start the night for Robin Herron.
2 chases on two strike pitches to Miner, down in the zone, and then Wells up in the zone. And that's what Robin Herron can do. It's what she wants. She wants Wells to chase that pitch. It's at a perfect height, not too high, not too low. The senior is coming out so far and dealing here at Loves.
Misses upstairs to the lefty, Ella Parker, who's been moved up in the lineup tonight after struggling on Wednesday night against Oklahoma State. Struck out 3 times against Ruby Malin. On a night in which Oklahoma's explosive, deep offense was really held in check.
Well, and remember, they struck out this, or Ruby Malin struck out the side in the first inning. That was only the 4th time all year that Oklahoma had 3 strikeouts offensively in an inning. And so far we have 2 with Robin Herron again for the 3rd at bat in this inning, working from ahead in a pitcher's count.
The 1-2. Did she go? No, says Cameron Ellison, in a full count to Parker.
Ella Parker had a really challenging game on Wednesday night, striking out 3 times against Ruby Malin, and that was one that really could have gone either way. But Ella Parker gets a call, and she will see another pitch.
Couple of check swings already in the first inning against Herron. The 3-2. And a walk drawn by Parker despite falling behind early. Extends the inning for Oklahoma.
It's a great at bat. And, you know, I talked to Robin Herron, had the opportunity to do so last year, and she told me, you know, usually I get pretty nervous in the first inning. At least it had been that way up through her junior year. And she had said that when she faced OU, that last year in game 1, it was the least nervous that she had been in a game all year, because she had the mindset going into that game in Fayetteville of whatever happens, happens. Like, I'm just gonna leave it all out there. And she went on to only give up 1 run against them in that game through 6 innings. And then OU scored a bunch in the 7th, but she had the exact mindset you need to beat OU.
Ahead in the count, 0-2 to Gabby Garcia. It's interesting too, because last year, despite being a junior, it was the first time in Robin Herron's career that she was the ace. And now this year, Amanda back again to be the ace for a 2nd year. Wants to leave her mark, wants to be an All-American when it's all said and done. These are the moments, the games that you look back on at the end of the season when somebody does get the All-American nod in the circle that you point to. In the right field to extend the inning again. Garcia will send Parker to 3rd, and all of a sudden the go-ahead run 60 feet away for OU.
Gabby Garcia, just a really level swing on that curveball that's just too far over the plate, especially in a pitcher's count. That is a curveball that's too sweet, and a hitter like Garcia is trying to do too much, just continues to pass the bat. A little 2-out rally going, something that Oklahoma State did to Oklahoma on Wednesday, was score with 2 outs, something we did not see Oklahoma do to OSU.
Bella Emmerling comes to the plate with runners at the corners. Fly ball into center field. First pitch swinging. Reagan Johnson puts it away, and Robin Herron dances out of a 2-out jam. No blood after 1 in this top 6 showdown in Norman. Oklahoma, 4,500 plus on hand for this top 6 showdown. And over the years, Amanda, Arkansas has really hit home runs in the portal with transfer hitters. It's continued this year with the likes of Dakota Kennedy, for example, who we saw last half inning.
And a couple of transfers, I ended up getting SEC Player of the Year, and I feel like there's so many on there too that maybe didn't get All-American honors, but like a Taylor Ellsworth, a Kylie Halverson. I mean, Danielle Gibson was huge. Braxton Burnside was huge, but Tiana Bell being another one of those. You mentioned Dakota Kennedy. It just seems like Courtney Deifel has a great way of using the transfer portal to find hitters to instantly come in and be like the hitters that you work your entire game plan around. Like, that's how good they are. And Tiana Bell, Dakota Kennedy hitting side by side in this lineup are two of them.
Bell coming in the offseason from Cal, where she was twice an all-conference selection, both in the Pac-12 and in the ACC. I think in the middle of the order. First pitch swinging and has the first base knock of the game for Arkansas. Had such big shoes to fill at first base, taking over for Bree Ellis.
Another hit off of a left-handed pitcher. You can't help but notice that we have two left-handed pitchers in the circle, and Tiana Bell has the highest batting average off of lefties for Arkansas, hitting over 500 against him this year.
Rio comes up swinging. That's a fair ball. Hugging the left field line, and a pair of flare base knocks to start the second inning for the Hogs.
Okay, so I'm guessing the message in between innings, or after their first half inning, was let's swing early in the count. Let's go up. If you see one that is out over the heart of the plate, let's be more aggressive and not necessarily just high exit velocity hits. In fact, the exit velocity would be low, but a couple of hits that had eyes, and Arkansas going up an aggressive mindset, swinging early in the count, both first pitch hits.
Two on and nobody out for Kaylee Wyckoff. And now Arkansas has a chance to draw first blood, despite the fact that in the bottom of the first, Oklahoma had 2 on and 2 out with a runner 60 feet away.
I like the idea of Wyckoff laying down that bunt, a sacrifice bunt situation with a left-handed pitcher in the circle and Bella Emmerling playing behind first base. You could tell her bat was angled to lay down that sac bunt down the first base line. Look at how far back the Emmerling is playing. Of course, now she's going to swing away, but if she were to have laid that bunt down the first base line, I think it would have been a hit for Wyckoff because of the fact that Lowry left-handed, a tougher play for her as a pitcher in the circle.
1-1 bunt is dropped down foul. She's a gamer, in the words of Courtney Deifel. No surprise to see her playing a little bit of a game here with Audrey Lowry in this Sooners defense that, like Arkansas, ranks in the top 10 nationally in fielding percentage. Two of the elite teams, not only in this conference but in the nation right now.
Well, and I'd let her swing away. I mean, tough position here in a pitcher's count against Audrey Lowry in this 1-2 count. But looking at the success that Wyckoff has had against left-handed pitchers, she's had the most extra base hits on the team.
Goes down swinging. First strikeout of the night for Audrey Lowry, 1 away.
And Lowry shook a couple of times to be able to get to this pitch. A changeup that is just perfectly located. A little bit of an off-speed curveball, it looks like, as that pitch moved away from Wyckoff. That was a big strikeout after the first 2 reach and the first 2 pitches of the inning.
Ball 1 low to the 3-year starting catcher Kennedy Miller. Comes into the series riding a 9-game on-base streak for an offense that, like pretty much everybody else around the country, has been overshadowed by Oklahoma. But Arkansas too, Amanda, top 5 in the country in a host of categories, including batting average, on-base percentage, and runs scored. And of course, Courtney Deifel, a disciple of Patty Gasso, told us, look, we know how big of a deal it is to play the #1 team on their home field at Loves. But this team and all their talent, Amanda, so far does not look at all intimidated by the #1 Sooners.
She felt like coming in this weekend that they're in a really good spot. She called this Arkansas team a hungry team, very competitive. And they're an older team too. They have this experience. Almost everybody is an upperclassman that starts. They start a ton of seniors, including starting Heron in the circle for them, another senior.
Full count to Miller. Well, you mentioned the experience and the hunger. Look, this is a team whose season was ended in surprising fashion last year in their home Super Regional against Ole Miss, who had never been to a Women's College World Series before last year. Dealt with some food poisoning to 2 of their top pitchers. They felt like almost that a trip to the Women's College World Series was unfairly taken away from them. It has influenced their edge this year, and that pitch just missed. 4,500 plus on hand. Don't know where it missed, and the bases are loaded with 1 down.
It's a great pitch. It's, always difficult to tell because the center field camera is at a little bit of an angle. I mean, no doubt that's a pitcher's pitch, but I just felt like it was a great take by Kennedy Miller. And now they have the bases loaded.
And in steps Carly Davison. Razorbacks have already broken multiple program records offensively. The one they are tied with is grand slams. 7 already this year for Courtney Deifel's club.
We want to capitalize on this opportunity and try to get this crowd out of it. You're the visiting team. You have an opportunity with the bases loaded, less than 2 outs. You have to score here and capitalize on this moment against the #1 team.
Of course, Davison began her career with the Utah Utes, was the starting shortstop on their 2023 Women's College World Series team. Coached then and now by DJ Gasso, the son of Patty Gasso. Down to the count 1-2. Good take.
That's another great take. Do you know how hard that pitch is to take with 2 strikes on the road, bases loaded? You want to be the one so bad that gets a big hit. And that pitch is a pitch that kind of starts to look like you can get it, and then you notice it's going to be out of the zone, and you take it to get this one.
Takes the 2-2 up the middle. It finds center field. 2 runs will score, and Arkansas strikes first in game 1.
It's all about the take of the rise ball to get something down. Carly Davidson noticed that the pitch before this one was going to be too far up. She took it. It was a close one. It's not easy at all, but then she gets one that she can better handle. Off-speed pitch, driving it right back up the middle, and a veteran hitter in Davidson's plates the first couple of runs for Arkansas. What an at-bat, what at-bats that Arkansas has put together in this inning to score first against OU.
And now for the 4th straight game, Amanda, Oklahoma trails to open the night. Texas and Oklahoma State both jumped out to early leads on OU in the course of the last week. And it prompts a visit to the circle by Jen Rocha, and simultaneously a visit with the defense by Patty Gasso.
Well, and Matt, you think about the takes that Arkansas had, the last 2 hitters. Kennedy Miller drawing a walk to be able to get herself to first base, taking some close pitches in that AB, and then Carly Davidson taking some close pitches and her at bat. So Arkansas just doing a little bit of everything right. The first 2 hits of the inning were both on first pitches, and then the last ones working the count to draw the walk, working the count, hitting with 2 strikes in that 2-2 count from the 9-hole to drive in a couple of RBIs. Just Arkansas really looking comfortable at the plate here.
(28-1) this year are the Razorbacks when scoring first. A lot of the credit to that record can be applied to their pitching and to their defense, both of which have been phenomenal this year. And you give Robin Herron an early lead. How much confidence does that give the senior in the circle tonight?
Right now, they're again talking about the defensive shift that's happening with Reagan Johnson coming up to the plate. They're going to bring in 5 infielders. So Abby Dayton is going to come from left field, and she's going to be playing second base. So that's Abby Dayton right there, who's the left fielder. And then Kai Miner, who is a center fielder, is actually going to be playing left field. And then Ella Parker is right there in center. So a shift with just about everybody on the infield, everybody on the outfield because of Reagan Johnson coming up. And this is the defensive alignment that they want to play.
Patty Gasso's Oklahoma Sooners have not lost 3 straight games since 2011. They come into the night off back-to-back losses to arch rivals Texas and Oklahoma State. Strike 1 to Johnson on the bunt attempt. Still 2 on and just the 1 out here in the top of the 2nd inning after the 2 RBI single by Carly Davison. What an opportunity here for the Hogs to really apply pressure against the #1 team in the country that has won 30 straight games on this field. 1-1 bunt drop down, fielded by Lowry. Spinning throw, well executed by the Oklahoma starting pitcher. Both runners advance. And now 2 down with 2 in scoring position for Arkansas. Brinley Bain, mile high pop up behind home. It is caught. Kendall Wells can swing the bat and make plays behind the plate. But Arkansas strikes first. Hogs. Welcome back to Loves Field in Norman, Oklahoma, where it is a Gasso family affair this weekend. DJ Gasso, son of Patty, brother of JT, the hitting coach at Arkansas. Of course, JT, the hitting coach under his mother Patty here at OU. This weekend, competition trumps blood, it seems, Amanda, in the Gasso household. And Patty, who's such a warm, motherly figure in this program, you know, when they line them up, she's out here to win these games.
Yes, they are. That warmness about her, I think, goes away with that competitive spirit. This family is very competitive. Even their dad and JT, DJ, they all want to win. And it's always just so fun whenever they get to match up against each other, because you just know that they also know how to laugh and have a good time, but just ultimately they all want to win. And in this situation, somebody has to lose. It's in the family.
DJ Gasso knows how to push his brother JT's buttons, and mom. Patty said that when it's family time, they don't really talk that much about softball, and if it does get brought up, it's DJ doing the bringing up. Trying to get under mom and brother's skin a little bit. And his offense striking first tonight.
And DJ gave a lot of credit to Patty Gasso, that she's just always been such a hard worker, a hustler, always finding ways to be better. Even he said that when she would garden herself, she was grinding when she was gardening in the yard. So just when you have that personality type of wanting to be the best, not just at softball, you want to be the best at everything in life. It's that competitive spirit and that standard that she sets. And the cool part too was that when DJ Gasso was around the Oklahoma program, when he was Patty Gasso's son and not Coach Gasso, when he was in high school, Courtney Deifel was on staff at Oklahoma working with Patty. So Courtney Deifel has actually known him since he was in high school.
And Courtney, DJ told us, is the reason he ultimately decided to go from Utah to Arkansas. Felt the family environment that his mom has cultivated here at OU. Believes in the vision that Courtney Deifel has for this program. Believes they can win national championships.
And if you're wondering what's been going on, if we just kind of carved out some extra time to talk about the Gasso family, that's not it. We should technically be playing, but Robin Herron, since she has thrown her first warm-up pitches before the first inning, has not felt comfortable in the landing spot when she strides out. So that would be her right foot landing, just even in her warm-up pitches, kind of giving her catcher some faces, just something not being right. So got the field crew out now 2 innings in a row to try to get it right for where she lands.
Don't give away all our secrets up here.
Well, and I'm really thinking about that spot too, because you can see Robin Herron wearing a brace on that right leg. So for her, it's probably more than just kind of feeling a little uneven. I mean, of course, there's
plant foot.
Right, there's a reason that she's wearing that knee brace. So for her, these fans are booing and up in arms about it, but for her, it's likely something that she really needs to feel like that landing spot is going to be secure for her. Sometimes when you overwater the field, the dirt moves around, it gets a little bit muddy, or your foot moves.
Mile high pop-up foul territory. It is tracked by the Cal transfer Tiana Bell, 1 down.
So that landing foot, Matt, is extremely important for front side resistance and balance and being able to finish your pitch as explosively as you possibly can. You don't want to land and feel like, oh, I'm not very steady. I can only go 70% with this one. Especially when you're throwing against the #1 offense in the country. You want to make sure that you feel right and that where you land feels exactly as you want it.
Bunt dropped down here by Agbayani. Gonna be a tough play, and Agbayani beats it out. The speed of the BYU transfer showing why Patty Gasso calls her the fastest player on the Sooners roster.
As so well executed right down the line to become a foot race with Tiana Bell at first base. And down here in the bottom of the order, Matt, are the speed, energy type players for Patty Gasso, with Agbayani and then Abby Dayton especially on deck.
In steps Sydney Barker, who's played such a big role this season with the ACL tear of Nelly McEnroe-Marinas. Anything she gives them offensively, Patty Gasso says, is the cherry on top. They have asked her to dial in at third base. She's delivered.
She can play just about anywhere defensively, so she's super valuable because of her versatility on defense, from first base to the outfield to third. And when Nelly McEnroe-Marinas went down, I mean, that was just so terrible to hear about, because Nelly McEnroe-Marinas is just a player that you love to watch playing third base and compete, a captain last year for Oklahoma. And so that was tough. So actually Oklahoma had what Patty Gasso called third base tryouts after that. For several players at practice went over there and started taking ground balls, and like, that's her word, tryout. She said they also had first base tryouts too, because kind of shuffled around their defense. And there's Nelly McEnroe-Marinas, of course, a leader at the front of the dugout, cheering on her teammates, still being a leader despite that injury.
Barker goes down swinging. Third strikeout of the night for Herron, 2 down in the second.
Remember, Robin Herron wants to pitch to you with 2 strikes. Hitters hitting .084 off of her with 2 strikes. When she gets ahead, she is one of the toughest 2-strike pitchers to go up against and try to figure out a way to get ahead.
Ball 1 to Abby Dayton. Perhaps the most dangerous 9-hitter in the country. Really like his second leadoff hitter at the bottom of the OU lineup, batting .444 with 37 runs batted in. Runner goes. Agbayani safe. Ball into center. She'll stay put. 11th stolen bag of the year for Agbayani. And now a runner in scoring position in back-to-back innings for OU. Abby Dayton has been so good this year with runners in scoring position. Batting .467.
What a luxury in your 9-hole to have a hitter with an OPS of close to 1,400, hitting over 400 with runners in scoring position. Just had some big swings, big moments in her few years at Oklahoma after transferring from Utah, where, remember, she played for DJ Gasso, the assistant at Arkansas.
And was, of course, teammates with current Arkansas second baseman Carly Davison on that World Series team in 2023. Herron with a full count, working on her 4th K. And she gets it. Catching Dayton, looking to close the door on OU in the second inning.
This froze her with what looked like a backdoor curveball, catching the inside corner. Robin Herron gets the call and has now 4 strikeouts in 2 innings against the #1 offense in the country.
You're watching the SEC on ESPN. 4,500 plus on hand for game one of a 3-game top 6 set. With major SEC standings implications, we're joined by Courtney Deifel, the Arkansas head coach. Coach, this is your first time at Love's. You're taking on the #1 team in the country. You're within striking distance for the top of the SEC. What are you feeling right now as we get this weekend kicked off?
Well, I'm not really thinking about any of that. I'm thinking about just trying to, win the next pitch and win the game that we're in. But this is an unbelievable venue. It's great for softball, and we're just happy to be here.
Coach, what have you seen be effective for Robin Herron the first time through the order against Oklahoma?
She's doing a really good job of trusting her spin more than anything. Her pitches are sharp. She's trusting her break and sticking to the game plan really well.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you. We're big.
Keeping it loose.
Well, she gets a round of applause from her entire team after the interview, and you love that. Like, you want to be celebrated after your mid-game interview. Who wouldn't want that? Goes to show Arkansas just coming in here confident and loose.
Ella McDowell leads it off for Arkansas. Second time through here for the Hogs, and it begs the question, Amanda, who is the pressure on in this series? And I think over the first 2 innings and change, that question has been answered, no?
Yeah, I think it's got to be OU. I think when you are Oklahoma's softball, you always have the pressure. I mean, especially becoming the #1 team because of their series win against Texas last weekend. They became #1, all their national championships, playing for Patty Gasso, playing in this stadium, playing with expectations and pressure that others put on you or you put on yourself.
It's going to be a long night for Marty Abazishan, I have a feeling.
I know. It always is, even at Devon Park. The crowd really wanted some pitches to be called strikes. It's always tough. But I think if you're Arkansas, you get to come in with nothing to lose. Of course, you expect to win. You want to win. You're competitive. You think that you have a great team. But ultimately, I think that all the pressure is on OU, especially having lost 2 games in a row.
3-1 is lasered into left field. It'll drop in front of Abby Dayton for a leadoff single. Ella McDowell aboard for the second time tonight.
The 3 hits that Arkansas has had so far in this game have, there's 4 now. 3 of the 4 have not been well struck. They've been a little bit off the end of the bat, not the best contact, highest exit velocity, but good signs for Arkansas that they're falling.
And you referenced last half inning that, Amanda, you noticed the difference between the first inning and the second inning and now the third for Arkansas, which is that despite the fact that they're not necessarily putting on the best contact, they're going up with a plan, and that is to be aggressive.
I saw Dakota Kennedy try to lay down that bunt there, and I think a couple of reasons. The sacrifice opportunity trying to advance that runner, but she's just not in her career, or excuse me, this year, seeing left-handed pitchers very well.
Big strikeout there for Lowry, second of the game, first out of the third.
And Audrey Lowry, too, is still trying to figure out the strike zone a little bit. You hear Oklahoma fans kind of moaning and groaning about some of these strike calls. And to me, they're ones that really could go either way, especially early in the game when pitchers are trying to figure out what's going to get called and what's not going to. Every umpire is going to have their version of the strike zone, and it's your job as a pitcher to be able to find it. And I think that Audrey Lowry, with Jen Rocha calling her pitches, are still trying to figure it out.
Bell, moonshot with a 1-1. Back on it is Dayton. See you later. A 4-0 lead for Arkansas. Bell's 13th home run of the year has stunned this capacity crowd at Loves Field.
Well, we talked about it. Tiana Bell, of all the Arkansas hitters in the lineup, hits left-handed pitching the best, and she gets one up and in on her hands, a rise ball or a curve ball trying to get inside, and it just does not enough. She keeps her hands so well inside that pitch to drive it over the left field wall, and another transfer just strikes again for Arkansas, leaves the yard, and doubles their lead.
Ground ball off the bat of Natalia Rijo, 2 down. Tiana Bell's 47th and 48th runs batted in this year, leads the team. And remember, it's an Arkansas team that, despite their experience, returning starters from last year, they did lose a lot of power in the lineup. Courtney Day and, of course, Bri Ellis, who Tiana Bell was brought in specifically, Amanda, to replace. Those are big shoes to fill.
They lost about half of their home run just with those 2 players alone.
Wyckoff's 0-1 slow roller. Agbayani makes the play. Good stretch at first by Bella Emmerling, but in back-to-back innings, Arkansas strikes 4 zip hogs.
Courtney Deifel had told us yesterday, our best days are ahead of us. Well, did she know that the next day she would have a 4-0 lead on the #1 team in the country, Tiana Bell, with her 13th bomb of the season.
These longtime rivals, Texas and Oklahoma State.
We don't let anything stop us.
They're no longer in the conference together, but this is huge resume building time.
We're a very, very talented team.
Amanda and I will have that for you on ESPN2, 8 Eastern, this coming Wednesday. On a first pitch swing into center field. Kai Miner stretches a double to lead it off for OU. An immediate response after back-to-back innings of Arkansas scoring and building a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, it's amazing how just a freshman in Kai Miner, her batting average, the tone setter, the leadoff hitter, just doing it at such a young age, especially in that moment after Arkansas scored again. Oklahoma has to answer here.
Kendall Wells at the plate, and she's beamed. 2 on and nobody out in the bottom of the 3rd. And all of a sudden, the tying run on deck for OU.
Trying to work that rise ball up and in, the pitch that Kendall Wells likes to chase at times. So going a little bit too far in, and now 2 on. Remember how quickly Oklahoma can score. It happens so fast.
Ella Parker digs in. You mentioned this offense's ability to strike quickly. 53 times this year, Amanda, they've scored 4 or more runs in a single inning. And Ella Parker, as those numbers show, has the ability to change the dynamic of a game with one swing. Mile high pop up, shallow left center. Kennedy drifting in for the first out.
And that is a big out. I think that when you play Oklahoma, you say that multiple times because every hitter that comes up has a chance to hit a home run and leave the ballpark. And the fact that you get an out in the air and the runners don't advance is big.
Speaking of ability to go yard, Gabby Garcia digs in with 18 home runs. Patty Gasso's club has swung the bat so well this year. Historic season, and we're not even through the end of April. The home runs, yes, are a big piece, but they lead the nation in 11 different offensive categories.
You see this big shift that Arkansas is playing up the middle of the field with Rijo. Arkansas has one of the best fielding percentages and defenses in the country, and so does Oklahoma. But I think a big part, and something that Courtney Deifel credits her good defense to, is Matt Michael, their numbers guy, assistant coach, crunching the numbers, looking at the spray charts, the heat map, doing all of that and positioning his defense into the best spots that they can be for each hitter that comes up.
Arkansas has turned a program record 31 double plays this year. That broke the record set back in 1999. And it's good for second in the nation behind only Arizona. Hitters count to Garcia with 2 on and 1 out. And a great take by the starting shortstop to load the bases. And the tying run will come to the plate in the third in the form of Bella Emmerling.
Something that Arkansas did really well when they were scoring, it was taking close pitches. Oklahoma was chasing early on. They chased on Wednesday night pitches that were well out of the strike zone, feeding right into Heron's hands, right into Ruby Malin's hands. And now in this inning, making it much tougher on Heron.
She can tie it with 1 swing.
It's another close pitch that they're taking. This puts so much pressure on Robin Heron to be more fine with her pitches and know that she has to come a little bit more down, has to come a little bit more on the plate. And this is why Courtney Deifel is going to come out and talk to Robin Heron, because of all these close pitches that she's not getting called. Going to give her a breath, regroup, and figure out how they want to attack these next hitters.
Second time through the order against arguably the best offense in the country. She struck out 4 Sooners first time through. Second time through, she's hit her batter and walked the batter. And now the base is loaded with 1 down in the bottom of the third.
That's the difference, is that Oklahoma is just not chasing out of the zone this inning. Something that they've done so well in these kind of golden era of Oklahoma offenses for the last 5 or 6 years is have so much patience at the plate, hit good pitches, and make pitchers come through the strike zone without helping them.
Bella Emmerling batting .625 with the bases loaded. In the air to right field. Headed towards the wall. It's gone. Tie game at Loves Field.
Bella Emmerling has elevated her game this year as a senior. Hitters count goes down, and with that pitch for an opposite field home run. In SEC play, Matt, this is crazy. OU has more opposite field home runs than they do to the center of the field or the pull side. And it's because they are so good. They have power to all fields. And with one swing, that's how fast it can happen. One swing, great at bats, tie up this game. Oklahoma scores so quickly.
And still threatening. Cassidy Pickering at the plate, still just the one out. And the base is cleared.
And Oklahoma has not faced very many left-handed pitchers. And when you looked at their home run breakdown, in fact, coming into this game, they only had 15 home runs off of left-handed pitchers. And they've had 151 this entire season, only 15 to come off of lefties.
Emmerling in the air to center. Two gone.
So you knew that that presented a different type of challenge, and now it's going to be 16 home runs off of left-handed pitchers, but they just haven't seen lefties a lot, especially good ones like Robin Herron is an All-American in the circle of a left-handed pitcher, but they have 136 home runs off of righties and only 16 now off of lefties.
What a huge swing by Bella Emmerling. Felt like there was more behind that swing than just tying this game. With all the questions circling this week, OU coming into the night losing back-to-back games, not meeting the moment in Wednesday's Bedlam loss to Oklahoma State. Challenged by Patty Gasso this week to bow up the way her program so often has done throughout the decades. And an entirely different ball game here in the bottom of the third. Agbayani drills it to center. And Reagan Johnson fielding center field so well. Bella Emmerling ties it at 4 apiece.
Yeah, it is Bella Emmerling's 15th home run. This is Oklahoma's 10th Grand Slam of the season, second only to UCLA, who has 13. But that Grand Slam, her 9th career one, just tied up this game.
You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Standing room only crowd for game one of a 3-game set pitting two top 6 SEC foes. Oklahoma erasing a 4-run deficit last half inning. Patty Gasso joins as coach. 54 times this year your offense has played at 4 or more runs in an inning. What is it about your team and the ability to put up runs in a quick fashion?
Well, part of it is we were down by 4, so it was important for us to try to put some numbers up on the board, but they're kind of amped here tonight. The crowd has been great, so when they have their eyes on the ball, they really get their swings off.
Coach, what can you say about Bella Emerling and just the year that she's put together and this passion and mindset that she's had this season?
Yeah, Kendall Wells came in, and it started to look a little bit different for Bella. She came to me and said, tell me what I need to do. Like work at first base. She's become a good first baseman, but she has a different level of hitting right now. Offensively, she's just really crushing the ball and has earned that spot and has really come up clutch for us. So it's her senior year, and she wants to leave it on the field.
Coach, appreciate your
Thank
time.
you, guys.
Thank you. To Coach's point, Bella Emerling's batting average is up 195 points, Amanda, from last year. And Patty Gasso does credit the competition, friendly and healthy, but still competitive, between Kendall Wells, the freshman, and the senior Bella Emerling.
Well, Bella Emerling went to her and basically said, just tell me how, tell me what I need to do. And so they worked with her at first base, even had to teach her pre-pitch movement. She was very green over at first base. And Patty Gasso told her, okay, when I put you over here, you're going to need to stop every single ball. You have to be a backstop in the same way that you are back behind the plate, because she's also a catcher. But she has fought for that spot at first base, and Patty Gasso has loved what she did and that tell me how, tell me what you need me to do mentality. And boy, has it paid off big time, not just for Bella Emerling, but this Oklahoma team.
And isn't that the mark of a great program? Humility, selflessness, but also the talent. How rich the talent is here that you can just plug and play players in different positions. Flair in his center, and 2 quick outs for Audrey Lowry. The lineup will turn over for the 3rd time tonight for Arkansas.
2 quick outs is exactly what Lowry wanted to see. Patty Gasso wanted to see, going right at 8-9 in the lineup, and now having a chance after that grand slam to tie it, to go 3 up, 3 down. This game is such a game of momentum, and especially with where with where Arkansas was in their lineup with 8, 9, and 1 up. The message to Lowry was go get them after getting that 4-run grand slam by Emerling.
Oh, 1 to Reagan Johnson. Chopper right into the middle of the third baseman, Sydney Barker. A smooth inning for Audrey Lowry. Oklahoma has a chance to take the lead when we come back. Oklahoma has won 4 of the last 5 Women's College World Series, which begins again May 28th on ESPN, ESPN2, and of course ABC. Arkansas has yet to reach a Women's College World Series. It's really the last notch on the belt for Courtney Deifel. She has had a historic run since taking over the program at Arkansas. But they have yet to reach Oklahoma City. These are the types of series, Amanda, that prepare you for a super to get to the Women's College World Series.
And win or lose, there's just always something to learn. There's just so many lessons and mistakes that are made and successes that are to be had, confidence to be built that you carry with you, that you get through SEC play and you carry with you through the postseason.
Oh, 2 to Barker.
It's just like how Audrey Lowry went right at Arkansas when she faced 8, 9, and 1 in the last half inning. That's exactly what Robin Herron needs to do right here, knowing that the top of the order is looming for Oklahoma in this inning.
And we welcome those of you joining us on ESPN2. Robin Herron has her 5th strikeout tonight against the #1 offense in the country. Matt Schumacher, the former All-American, Amanda Scarborough with you. And if you are just joining us on the Deuce after Alabama run-ruled Kentucky 9-0. Arkansas led 4-zip to start this game before Oklahoma tied it in the 3rd. All 4 runs coming in the 3rd inning for OU on a Bella Emmerling grand slam.
Arkansas came out and scored in a couple of different innings. They scored the 2nd and the 3rd. That was back-to-back innings. They also have a Tiana Bell 2-run home run. That it was all Arkansas early, and then some great at-bats were put together by Oklahoma the 2nd time through the lineup facing Herron. Loading the bases, and then that grand slam awaited.
1-0 scorched off the bat of Abby Dayton. It's a big series for both programs, not just because of the top 10 rankings for each. Arkansas 3 games back of the Sooners in the SEC standings. Oklahoma coming in off back-to-back losses to arch rivals Texas and Oklahoma State, trying to avoid a 3-game skid for the first time since 2011.
Something that Patty Gasso talked about after that loss, that Bedlam loss on Wednesday. Said that they played a little bit lethargic entering that game, called it unacceptable for the Sooners, and I want to say gave a lot of credit to Ruby Malin and Oklahoma State for the way that they played fundamental softball, moved runners, clutch hits, and Ruby Malin pitched an absolute gem, but
Dayton line drive into right center. Well played by Bailey Wyckoff to keep Dayton at bay. Now the go-ahead run aboard in the bottom of the 4th.
But Matt, it's just not common to see Oklahoma lose 2 games in a row, but this is a really tough stretch. I mean, for both teams, Arkansas has played a very difficult SEC schedule. In fact, they have the 2nd hardest when you look at strength of schedule within their SEC play. And for Oklahoma being on the road in Texas, one of their rivals, and then in Devon Park, home of the Women's College World Series on Wednesday, facing their in-state rival, and Oklahoma State now facing a top 6 opponent in Arkansas here. I mean, this is a tough stretch for Oklahoma, and they are getting tested and getting everything that each team has to offer them.
The back-to-back losses for OU, first time all year. And it appears Courtney Deifel is going to make a pitching change in the bottom of the 4th. despite Robin Herron's 5 strikeouts tonight. Arkansas came out aggressive early. Plated 2 runs in the second inning on 3 hits, including a 2-run single off the bat of Carly Davison. Then in the third, Tiana Bell, the transfer from Cal, a moonshot to left, stunning this capacity crowd, a 4-0 lead. But in the bottom half, Bella Emmerling's grand slam, the 9th of her career, tied the game at 4. As we welcome you inside the booth in Loves Field, Matt Schumacher, Amanda Scarborough with you. And Amanda, as you mentioned, post-game, Bedlam loss, Patty Gasso said that her team got bowed up on when traditionally they've been the team doing the bowing up. Bella Emmerling bowed up to tie this game at 4.
Yeah, I think that was a big response. I honestly expected it in the first inning because we know Oklahoma's offense and that they were going to be looking for that response after back-to-back losses. I mean, it was just on Sunday in that series against Texas that they got walked off on with the Katie Stewart home run. They were looking for the sweep. Instead, Audrey Lowry gave up a walk-off home run to Katie Stewart and then turned around, played a tough midweek game against Oklahoma State and lost that one. So a lot has happened very quickly for Oklahoma. I expected them to respond a little bit sooner, but Robin Herron got the start for Arkansas, one of the best left-handed pitchers in the country, and it's not been easy.
Surprised to see a change here, or no, from Courtney Deifel. Your thoughts?
I think after that Dayton home run and what the top of the order looked like against Herron the second time through, with Kai Miner really starting that rally in the third inning. She led off that third inning when Oklahoma scored 4, and she was the rally starter, the fire igniter against Herron. Her second at bat against her hit one of the hardest balls off of Herron that we had seen in this game. So no big surprise, and always to remember that Robin Herron can re-enter back into that game. Probably a conversation that Courtney Deifel had with her before she went to the dugout was stay warm, stay ready.
Passes the ball now to Saylor Timmerman. Strike 1 to Kai Miner. Timmerman, a freshman, top 5 prospect in the country. In the circle coming out of high school. 0-1. Flared into left field. Dakota Kennedy drifting in with the wind, playing it well, 2 outs.
And Saylor Timmerman's going to rely on her drop ball. About half of the pitches that she throws are going to be down in the zone with her drop ball, and she'll split the zone up with her rise ball and also will locate a fastball. Doesn't change speeds a ton, but it'll rely on that drop ball. That out there against Miner was on a rise ball. An easy fly out for Dakota Kennedy out in left field.
In steps the freshman home run queen, Kendall Wells. 32 home runs this year, already a national freshman record and an SEC home run record. Has homered in 7 of her last 9 games, including this bomb in a series win against Texas to set the NCAA freshman home run record.
She hit one on Wednesday night off of Ruby Malin that went the opposite way, and she's just on track to try to get that OU single season home run record as well as the NCAA single season home run record, doing that as a freshman. And you think about the home run hitters that have come through this program. You think about Laura Espinosa with 37 home runs in her career, or excuse me, in that season in her career at Arizona, and that's what she's chasing, history. There was a great article in The Athletic where Mike Candrea was quoted that called Kendall Wells the Babe Ruth of her era. Great hands, power, a good eye, bat speed, just like Laura Espinosa, who she is chasing with that 37 home runs.
That's high praise from the GOAT. 2-2 to Wells.
We asked Patty Gasso, what is Kendall Wells like versus Jocelyn Alo versus Lauren Chamberlain, the other home run queens? And she talked about Kendall Wells just coming in with this unbelievable strength as a freshman, just already so seasoned.
Full count. And she draws her second free pass of the day. And now the tying run in scoring position as the heart of the OU lineup comes to the plate in the bottom of the fourth. Ella Parker has walked and flown out to left.
It's always so amazing to me when you see a freshman like Sailor Timmerman enter into the game, into this stadium, and think this time last year she's pitching in high school. She's pitching in travel ball and not pitching against an offense like Oklahoma that might go down as one of the best offenses ever in the history of our sport. Over 150 home runs that they've already hit, and it's April 17th. And now here's Sailor Timmerman from Wisconsin pitching in left field with a chance to try to take down this offense.
Oklahoma has won a NCAA best 30 consecutive home games. Their offense a big piece of that, leading the nation in 11 different categories, on pace to break national records for homers, runs, and slugging. That ball gets away from Kennedy Miller, and both runners advance, and now the go-ahead run just 60 feet away. Two to Parker. In the air to left center. Kennedy puts it away, and Timmerman comes in to slow down this Oklahoma offense. Tied at 4 after 4 in Norman. Well, earlier this season, Dakota Kennedy earned an AUSL golden ticket, securing her spot in the 2026 AUSL draft.
She was given that golden ticket by the AUSL commissioner, Kim Ng, who came out and I'm sure surprised her. Her parents were there. I don't think she expected them to be there, but one of a few as we continue to round out the golden tickets. At the end, when it's all said and done, there will be 17 golden tickets handed out. These are the other recipients. And we can also add Maya Johnson to the list, who just got one at Belmont. Saw a tweet come through while we were on this broadcast, but Nyjah Kennedy, Reese Atwood, Leanne Good, I mean, the list goes on and on. We'll end up having 17 get handed out, and this means that these players will get drafted on May 4th on ESPN2 for the AUSL College Draft, that you'll be able to watch to see which of the 6 teams in the AUSL that they will get drafted to. Really special moment. And then, of course, there was a huge announcement that the AUSL said the championship series is going to be played at Davis Diamond in College Station. That will be July 25th through 27th. So much going on with pro softball, including those golden tickets.
Quick out for Audrey Lowry, who's coming off a 5-pitch 4th inning. has really gained control of this game, Amanda, after giving up 2 runs in back-to-back innings, trailing 4-zip early. She has now set down 6 hogs in a row. We, of course, will see Dakota Kennedy bat in this inning. She is on deck behind Ella McDowell. There's so much talk about the Oklahoma offense this year, and rightfully so. But Arkansas, too, has been dangerous in the box. Top 5 in the nation in batting average, OBP, and runs. And they, too, have set program records already this year. Runs batted in, doubles, on pace to break batting average in OBP.
And their hitting coach is DJ Gasso, the son of Patty Gasso, and his brother is JT, who's the hitting coach at Oklahoma, but he's on the other side wearing a different logo, slightly different colors, competing against his family, which is always a family reunion. So fun when these two teams play each other. We got to do this series last year in Fayetteville, and I feel like every time that they play each other from here on out, now that Oklahoma is in the SEC, remember last year was the first year, it's just going to become old hat that they played each other, but last year was like the new shiny object that DJ Gasso was the hitting coach for Arkansas and could be facing Oklahoma.
This is crushed to left. Bye-bye off the bat of Ella McDowell. And the Hogs lead again in Norman. These DJ Gasso coached bats for Arkansas came to play tonight.
Yeah, and after how quickly Audrey Lowry was just starting to pile up outs, Arkansas needed this in a big way. And Ella McDowell, a little bit of an unorthodox swing that she has when she rips the ball, but she is such a gamer. Courtney Deifel even said last year about Ella McDowell that she has been the answer for us. This is a hitter who, as a freshman, at times would hit behind Bree Ellis, last year's National Player of the Year, that Courtney Deifel thought that she was such a gamer, such a good mindset as a freshman. She was the one that was on deck when Bree Ellis was in the box.
The lone freshman in program history to earn NFCA All-American honors. She's come back this year and done a fantastic job as a sophomore. And you referenced Bree Ellis moving on, graduated, of course. They also lost Courtney Day, Reagan Kramer. These were veterans, major offensive pieces. Arkansas has pivoted. Still an explosive team despite all the power they lost from last year. Kennedy one hopper to first, tagged by Bella Emmerling, and she's a little bit gimpy after trying to avoid the tag. Courtney Deifel is extremely concerned here. The reigning back-to-back All-American at Arizona, transferring in for her first season at Arkansas. Showed her receiving the golden ticket at the beginning of this inning, has been a superstar. Looked like she just lost her footing a little bit, trying to dance out of the way of the tag of Bella Emmerling.
person who knows what she feels right now and just how painful that is, what it feels like to walk. And I just feel so much for her. Having been somebody who had an injury myself my senior year, I was in February, here we are at April 17th, and just knowing what an important player Dakota Kennedy is as a leader, respected teammate. Just really wishing the best for her and hoping that she's okay.
And now Tiana Bell with 2 outs and the bases clear. Arkansas will try to regain some of that momentum that they had just a couple of batters ago with Ella McDowell's home run. How quickly the tone has changed in that dugout, Amanda. So much concern from the Arkansas teammates. One of their leaders, one of their stars, being helped off the field. Bell's 1-1 rolled to short. Garcia charge, slings it to first, and that'll end the inning. Ella McDowell, though, puts Arkansas back in front on the #1 team in the country.
That was a big swing, and Arkansas needed some momentum. It had been all OU at the plate, all OU in the circle until that Ella McDowell solo home run, her 11th of the season. Facing records, and then of course so is Kendall Wells with 32 home runs on the season as a freshman, chasing that single season home run record by Laura Espinosa of 37. Like everywhere you look in our sport this year, Matt, with all the offense just all across the country, there's going to be a lot of records broken, whether it's a conference record, a D1 record, a program record. Just offense is exploding in our sport right now, and it's so tough to be a pitcher.
Oklahoma has hit a home run in all but 3 games this year, including a grand slam back in the 3rd to tie the game at 4. They find themselves trailing yet again to start the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 count to Gabby Garcia. Sailor Timmerman in the circle, and Marty Abizishin just told her that she had a pitching infraction there, did not get the pitch out in time. That's a ball. 3-0. monster stage for this young freshman to be pitching on against the #1 team in the country. Nearly 4,500 people on hand. Battles back to run the count full.
Arkansas has been on the road in Tuscaloosa, playing Alabama already in this SEC season. They've played Georgia. They've taken on Florida. They won that series, and also played Auburn.
Heading out of play, now drifting back in, landing in foul territory. You're right, Amanda, this team has the #1 RPI in the country. So much of that has to do with their strength of schedule. Coming off that road series win at a top 15 Mississippi State. They took 2 of 3, of course, against a top 5 Florida team. Courtney Deifel's group has put together quite the resume. And what would a series win at #1 Oklahoma do for this team, big picture come selection time, as we look ahead of the NCAA tournament?
Now that RPI is really important once the bracket is going to be coming out in May on Selection Show Sunday on May 10th.
Well struck ball into the gap. Gabby Garcia with a leadoff base knock. And now Bella Emmerling comes to the plate with a chance to take the lead.
Opposite field bomb for Emmerling, OU's 15th opposite field home run in SEC play. And Bella Emmerling, her 9th career grand slam. Talk about breaking records. That's up there in the NCAA history book as well. I mean, she's just been a grand slam absolute machine, and is tied for 3rd in NCAA history. 9th grand slam for Emmerling, and when she hits a home run, OU so far has not lost a game.
Tia Malloy comes in to pinch run at first base. She can fly. Ball gets away, and she will take second, thinking about third, and will stay put.
It actually hit off of Bella Emmerling, so it's going to go down as a hit by pitch off of her foot. Trying to be so careful with how you pitch her. You have to be so careful really with this entire OU lineup, because they can all hit home runs. Drop ball that got away from her off of her back foot. Timmerman's been trying to find command with that drop ball. It's her most used pitch, and trying to throw it for a strike, but oftentimes missing down, because if you go against OU, you know they have home run power. You'd rather miss down than up, but she has to find that balance.
One-0 to Cassidy Pickering. Such a different dynamic to this game. Now in the middle innings, after OU was put on its heels early by Robin Herron. Struck out 4 through the first 2 innings. Gave up 4 in the 3rd and has given way to Sailor Timmerman. Chopper to first, race to the bag, won by Tiana Bell, but the tying run now 60 feet away.
Ball was hit so soft, there's no opportunity to turn a double play. Something that Arkansas's defense is so good at. Double play opportunity, especially with the runners that were involved, but just was hit soft and no chance for it.
Infield in for Agbayani. Can she test this top 10 defense of the Hogs? Has already done so once tonight, reaching on a bunt. Time called by Patty Gasso. Well, WrestleMania 42 is tomorrow and Sunday in Las Vegas, highlighted by the WWE's biggest stars. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific on ESPN2 tomorrow, and ESPN on Sunday. Helton has come in to pinch run for Emmerling at second base. So a pair of pinch runners aboard here for Oklahoma. Agbayani backhanded it short. Throw comes home. It's high, and it's a tie game. And now Helton in a rundown. She was out of the runner's lane and called out by Cameron Ellison. And now 2 gone as Agbayani moves up to second base, but we are tied at 5.
I don't think that Italia Rijo had a grip on the throw home. Just something seemed a little bit off, and usually she's not only so sure-handed with her glove, but has a great arm, makes good throws. And so from the minute that the throw left her hand, it just didn't seem like she's going to have any chance to make the out at home. It was going to be bang-bang. It needed a perfect throw to be able to get her breaking from third base, but that's going to tie up this game. And you can see Rio probably that throw in the back of her mind, wondering if, no, maybe it was her grip or just the pressure and how fast-paced that play had to be made perfectly. A good job of just putting the ball in play and making things happen.
Both defenses have been so good this year. Oklahoma and Arkansas ranking in the top 10 in fielding percentage. You referenced all the double plays the Hogs have turned. 31, second in the nation, and a single-season program record. And now McDaniel will come in to pinch hit in the 8th spot for Sydney Barker. Looks at strike 1.
It's a really solid freshman class that Oklahoma has, and not all of them are everyday starters, but they got a lot of playing time in February and March. And this is a freshman class that, you know, could be like one of those freshman classes that won the 4 national championships for Oklahoma, staying together and not knowing anything other than winning a national championship.
The freshman class alone has accounted for 57 of the Sooners' home runs. That's more than over 260 teams in the country. 1-2 to the freshman McDaniel.
And more than several SEC teams, even in the best conference in the country.
If the OU freshmen were their own team, they would be pacing many leagues across the country in home runs. 2-2 with a go-ahead run in scoring position, and McDaniel looks at ball 3. McDaniel in the air to left. It is off the wall, and she gives OU the lead as she reaches second with an RBI double. Sooners on top for the first time tonight.
I mean, that's the kind of at-bat that Patty Gasso, her heart just must be singing about that. A freshman pinch hitting in this environment, tie game against a top 6 team, and taking some close pitches to get a pitch out over the heart of the plate, a rise ball that just did not wiggle enough to give her team the lead. That at-bat right there is a big deal for the freshman and for this OU team.
Patty Gasso may pinch run for her. Pushing all the right buttons so far tonight. She will, in fact, pinch run for the pinch hitter who gives Oklahoma a lead despite trailing 4-zip earlier in the game tonight.
Sydney Barker is just going to go ahead and re-enter as McDaniel had hit for her in that 8th spot, so she will re-enter and run for her.
And Abby Dayton will come to the plate for Oklahoma. And don't let her position in the lineup fool you. One of the most dangerous 9 hitters you will find on any roster in any league. 446 with 37 runs batted in.
It's kind of an up and down inning for Arkansas in this inning when you think about it, with the Ella McDowell solo home run that got them back in it, and then
good pitch to get the final out. But Oklahoma strikes back. 2 runs plated in the 5th, thanks to an RBI double by Ella McDaniel. Sooners lead. In the 3rd inning, with Oklahoma trailing 4-zip, Bella Emmerling changed the dynamic of the game with 1 swing of the bat, tying it at 4 with her 9th career grand slam. Then in the 5th, Ella McDowell, a solo blast to put the Hogs back in front. But in the 5th, McDaniel pinch hit RBI double off the wall, and Oklahoma leads for the first time tonight. And Amanda, the Sooners have mounted 13, make it 14 comeback wins this year. 4-run deficit is tied for the largest deficit they have come back from this year. Twice before they've done it. And now we start the 6th with Audrey Lowry back in the circle, and Oklahoma leading by 1.
this is the kind of the time of year that you learn so much about your team. If you're Patty Gasso and Courtney Deifel alike, these challenges, this crowd, the environment, the top pitching, the punches back. I mean, all of this, if you were a head coach, you love your team being in this environment against this type of competition. It sets you up so well and prepares you so well for the postseason.
Rio cue balls it to short. Going to be a tough play for Garcia. Come on! At short, the slick sophomore makes the first out of the 6th.
And I'm convinced one year Gabby Garcia is going to be a Gold Glover at shortstop. That was just so smooth, throwing on the run from a sidearm position. Great stretch by Emmerling to finish it off. She absolutely got her. It was on Wednesday night too. Remember, Matt, we called that game. Oklahoma's defense didn't look as sharp as what we're used to seeing from the Oklahoma program. And I think a few of those balls that ended up dropping, some decision making that was poor decision making out on defense, I think ended up costing them and ultimately led to the loss.
Just looked a little flat on Wednesday night, in the words of Patty Gasso in the Bedlam loss to rival Oklahoma State. That followed a Game 3 loss to arch rival Texas in a series they won 2-1. But they come into the series having lost back-to-back games for the first time all year. And it felt coming into this series like it was gut check time for the Sooners.
Well, a gut check time against the number 6 team in the country that just had a great series against Mississippi State as Wyckoff takes that walk.
Well, the first round of the NBA playoffs begins tomorrow. We'll have KD and the Rockets taking on LeBron and the Lakers. Two of the OGs of the NBA. Coverage begins at 8 with Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq.
We talked about this at the beginning of the show, but Arkansas faced on the road in Starkville a tough Mississippi State pitching staff last weekend. And in Game 1, Arkansas got shut out 1-0. And then in Game 2 and Game 3, they scored 18 runs in those 2 games, won the series, ended up run ruling Mississippi State. So Oklahoma coming into this series knowing that, man, we're a little bit down. We lost that game to Texas. We lost that game to Oklahoma State. Now we have to face another tough challenge against an Arkansas team that is showing some fight, playing with some gusto, and their offense is scoring a bunch of runs. And that Mississippi State pitching staff has one of the best pitching staffs in the country that they scored those 18 runs off of in 2 games.
One to Kennedy Miller. Arkansas has been so good on the road, not just this year, but since 2020. The only current team in the SEC with a better road record is Oklahoma, who of course joined the league last year. And now Jen Rocha, the Oklahoma pitching coach, out of the dugout. Such a massive series for both teams. Oklahoma came into the weekend with a 1-game edge over Alabama, who won earlier tonight against Kentucky, and a 3-game edge on Arkansas, who despite their record and despite their ranking are actually 6th in the SEC. That's how tight this race is right now with just 3 regular season series remaining.
It's good to see Jen Rocha back out, calling that timeout, talking to Audrey Lowry. She came back at the beginning of March for medical reasons. She missed the very beginning of the season, but since she's been back, you definitely can tell that she's had an influence on pitch calling, especially when
potential double play here, Amanda, and they get it. How about the dig at first by Bella Emmerling, who had the game-tying grand slam, and now the double play to slam the door on the Hogs in the 6th.
Well, whatever she just went out and said to Lowry and the defense absolutely worked. Next pitch, double play. Oklahoma with a 1-run lead, wiggled out of what could have been a good rally for Arkansas.
top of the SEC standings. Arkansas still well within striking distance. They entered the night 3 games behind league leading Oklahoma.
What a year that Alabama has put together. When you remember how they finished 12-12 last year in the middle of conference standings, even a little bit more toward the bottom. And then Alabama in the month of, or I should say opening weekend, just came out and looked like a completely different team. They run-ruled Kentucky today, but Alabama in all aspects of the game has been on another level.
Arkansas's lone SEC series loss this year is to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Patrick Murphy has put together a real national contender in Tuscaloosa. It's something certainly to keep in mind as the SEC race tightens up, that Alabama is right there and the championship is for the taking. Of course, Oklahoma won the SEC regular season last year, their first year in the league. And it's something, Amanda, that you always wonder if a coach is going to talk about it. Do they prefer to stay away from it, stay in the moment? Patty Gasso did not shy away from talking about winning an SEC championship coming specifically into this series, knowing what's on the line against the Razorbacks. 1-2 to Kai Minor.
This series matters, and then Oklahoma will still have to face Georgia next weekend, and then Texas A&M, who has one of the best. Both of Georgia and A&M have a couple of really good offenses in the SEC. Face A&M in College Station.
Minor scorcher foul. Wait a second. Marty Abizishin says it's fair, and now he's going to wave it foul. First base umpire Sean Schumacher initially called it a foul ball. Looked like maybe Marty, the home plate umpire, thought it went off the glove at first of Tiana Bell.
Ruling on the field is a foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And now Patty Gasso wants an explanation.
This is one of those tough things to figure out too as a broadcaster, when I think even if you're an umpire, you have to dig deep into the rule book for who has the call and who is supposed to be calling. You can tell Patty Gasso is just upset with the first base umpire. Marty Abizishin did call it a fair ball. Schumacher ended up calling it a foul ball, and it all is matters of where it hit off of Bell's glove. If that was in fair territory or foul territory when it hit off of her glove. Marty Abizishin thought it was fair territory, and then the umpire at first base overruled.
Two. Tapper. Timmerman looked a little bit hesitant coming off the rubber, and that slight bit of hesitation allows Minor to reach safely.
Yeah, there definitely was hesitation, kind of looking down to see where Ella McDowell was, probably hoping that she was going to take that. There's a lot of spin on that. Timmerman also stands at 6'1", so just a long backhand reach for her when she had to go down and get it, knowing that it had to be a quick play, and looking to see where McDowell was.
Oklahoma up 1 with some insurance aboard for Kendall Wells. 32 of the freshman's 51 hits this year have been homers. What a catch behind home on the ricochet. That young man caught it on the fly.
And then you get to say, I have a Kendall Wells
You get to keep
foul
that.
ball.
Look at this.
It's not a home run ball, but you'll take a foul ball off of her bat. This is a freshman that on this field has hit home runs 304 feet. Just imagine how many times she's done that at batting practice. I mean, she's done that in games off of game pitchers.
Runner goes, throw down from Miller into center field. Minor in scoring position.
You know you have a lot of trust in the call there and in Kai Minor's speed and what you see back behind the plate to steal with the bat in Kendall Wells' hands, wanting her to come up and be able to hit with a runner on base. You have a lot of faith in that steal.
That is her 17th stolen bag. Full count to Wells. Top of this Oklahoma lineup, trying to avoid 3 straight losses for the first time since 2011. Seeking to stay atop the SEC standings. Wells scorches it into center. Minor will test the arm of Reagan Johnson and will score. 2-run lead for OU.
Kendall Wells is not a home run or nothing hitter, and that's just what makes her even more special. Taking that outside drop ball, that is a good pitcher's pitch. Not easy to hit at all, especially for Kendall Wells this year. That's been one of her weaker spots in terms of the strike zone, is a drop ball low and away, but handles it so well to extend the OU lead.
Strike one to Ella Parker. Sailor Timmerman trying to keep this a 2-run game with the top of the Razorback order due up in the top of the 7th. There have been multiple momentum swings in this game, and if you're just joining us, OU trailed 4-zip, backs against the wall in the 3rd inning. Another laser. This one hit right at Casey Wood, who has come in to replace Dakota Kennedy. And if you are just joining us, Kennedy exited the game a couple of half innings ago. The Razorback star back in the dugout, but not back in the lineup. She was running up the first base line, tried to dance out of the way of Bella Emmerling's tag, and then went down and was helped off the field. Emmerling, of course, hit the grand slam to tie the game at 4. Then an inning later, Arkansas, Audenella McDowell solo shot took a 5-4 lead. Oklahoma has plated 3 unanswered runs. One out, one on, and a 1-1 count to Gabby Garcia.
Their bats changed in that 3rd inning where they stopped chasing as much early on. They chased a lot for Robin Herron in the dirt with their changeup, up at their eyes with the rise ball. First time through, they chased a lot and made adjustments. And then even though Sailor Timmerman is entering this game in relief, they've kept that same patience at the plate and put a lot of pressure on this freshman in the circle. It's just not an easy task at all, and Oklahoma has just found different ways to score.
After their offense, Amanda, was held quiet in the Game 3 loss to Texas on Sunday, and again in the loss to Oklahoma State on Wednesday. There's been a little more spice, a little more edge to Patty Gasso's Sooners tonight. And that turns Garcia away from ball 4.
Courtney Deifel could put Robin Herron back in. She's also relied a lot on Peyton Burnham, but it's just tough to let Oklahoma see your 3 most used pitchers all in game 1. So I'm sure wanting to hold back Peyton Burnham to be the game 2 starter tomorrow.
Bella Emerling looks at a ball upstairs. Has Kendall Wells in scoring position at second base. Gabby Garcia at first. Has already plated 4 tonight. Goes after that pitch.
You can see just how big that swing is, and it's just a reminder, we just in these last few innings have not seen Oklahoma chase out of the zone like that very often. It's what got him into trouble on Wednesday night against Ruby Malin, who threw maybe the best game of her career. And it got them in trouble early on against Robin Herron. But when Oklahoma is the best offense that they can be, they are making a pitcher bring a rise ball down, bring a drop ball up, bring a curveball more on the plate. And they make you bring the pitch through the zone.
Another hitter's count. Van Timmerman wants to chat with her catcher, Kennedy Miller.
You mentioned the Dakota Kennedy injury and how tough that is to overcome for a team, because when that happened, Ella McDowell had hit a go-ahead home run. Just the hitter before Dakota Kennedy getting injured, and a senior, an All-American, the best hitter in their lineup. It's tough for a team to overcome that, especially on the road.
Good pick by Miller, but it loads the bases. Back-to-back free passes by Timmerman.
Definitely think that the game is speeding up on Timmerman. I was going to say, expect Courtney Deifel to go out and talk to her freshman, because this is a really pivotal moment and pivotal hitter in this game. With bases loaded, less than 2 outs, your team is just down by 2 runs. You have a great offense. You still have some outs to work with, but Oklahoma really has a chance to break this thing open. With the freshman in the circle, you want her to know, hey, you're just a pitch away from getting out of this. Arkansas has turned 31 double plays, second most in the country, and with the bases loaded, you have several different ways of turning that double play. Mentioned Peyton Burnham. She's in the bullpen right now, warming up just in case.
So knowing, Amanda, that you can get out of this inning with 1 pitch by turning a double play, how do you attack Cassidy Pickering if you're Timmerman?
Well, using her drop ball, and it's her most used pitch, and a drop ball is going to oftentimes induce a ground ball. And if you're Pickering, you're expecting something down in this type of situation. It's your job to get the barrel to the bottom half of that drop ball if she leaves one up. But she's just not been able to locate it very well. And as a hitter, it's tough, because you're just kind of looking for something to hit. And at times, Timmerman's not really been around the strike zone. Her misses have been pretty big.
Pickering, deep left, back on it Wood. It is caught by Johnson. Well deep enough to score Wells from third. And an RBI off the bat of Pickering to add to the lead.
Even that's a big run, you know, being up by 3 versus up by 2. 3 outs away from winning this game.
And now Courtney Deifel is going to make another pitching change. We'll tell you about it when we return. Arkansas down 3 on the road at #1 Oklahoma. Has taken on whatever role this staff has needed of her during her time at Arkansas. Tonight, they need her to get one big out and keep this a 3-run game in the 6th.
That's it. I mean, she literally might just come in and throw one pitch, and if she does that and gets it out, then her job is done. So really important for her to focus and lock in early in this count against Agbayani, who is such a big spark plug for this Oklahoma team, and try to keep this score exactly where it's at.
With her bunt single earlier tonight, Agbayani has a hit in 9 of her last 10 games. So much speed out of the box. Really applies pressure on opposing defenses.
And Arkansas will have 9-1-2 coming up in the 7th inning, so an opportunity to get the top of the order back up to create a little rally. But again, you have to keep this score where it's at. 3 runs already feels like half a mile.
And they will keep it at 3. Davison, Johnson, and Bain. Should one of them get on, McDowell. Arkansas down to their final 3 outs. Led 4-0 early, but it has been a lot of Oklahoma since. They have plated 4 unanswered runs. They lead by 3 as we enter the 7th, and Audrey Lowry, who gave up 4 runs early, Amanda, has been fantastic since. Just 84 pitches. We've seen uber efficient innings from the Oklahoma ace.
And she really locked it in. And Audrey Lowry has only gone 7 innings one time this season, and that was last weekend in Game 1 against Texas in that 3-0 shutout win that she pitched OU's win too, and she's only gone 7 innings 2 times in her entire career. This could be the 3rd.
Strike one to Carly Davidson, who was responsible for driving in 2 of the early runs off Lowry tonight. A 2 RBI single in the 2nd inning. Trying to get on base and turn the lineup over. At the top of this Hogs order.
And it just takes one good at bat at a time. I mean, Carly Davidson can't win it on her own. Reagan Johnson for sure can't win it on her own, and neither can Brinley Bain, the 3 hitters who are due up. So you just have to find a way to get on base and have a quality at bat that will bleed momentum through the rest of the hitters. That 2-1 chase just kind of let Audrey Lowry off the hook. If Davidson wouldn't have chased that, it would have been ball 3. And then she strikes out. Just fed right into Lowry. That 2-1 pitch was so important that Davidson got ahead of herself, chased out of the zone, and then Lowry goes right back to that rise ball up and moving away from Davidson for the first out. Getting off the leadoff hitter in the 7th inning with the lead is so important.
One down for Reagan Johnson. Has been a staple in center field and at the top of the Hogs lineup since the beginning of her freshman year. Tonight, her 203rd start as the Razorback leadoff hitter, wearing the Captain C on her chest.
You know, Arkansas just has one go-ahead home run in the 7th inning this season. That was actually a Dakota Kennedy walk-off home run versus Florida against Keegan Rothrock, and they have no game-tying home runs in the 7th inning this season. But it was Dakota Kennedy who has been so clutch for Arkansas this year, so good in SEC play. Hate to see her come out of this game because of the injury. She would potentially come up in this inning if a couple would reach, but not looking like she will.
Johnson gets aboard with 1 down in the 7th. So dangerous on the base paths as Reagan Johnson has yet to be caught stealing this year. 17 stolen bags. One of the best to ever do it in a Razorback uniform. Ball 1 to Brinley Bain.
She's a really patient hitter, Brinley Bain is, for a freshman. We talked about that in the 1st inning whenever this crowd was going crazy early on, ton of energy at Loves Field, and she came up 2nd hitter of this game at the very beginning of the game and drew a walk. Was very patient, has the most walks on the team, and so it's up to her to have another one of those good at bats, be patient. Audrey Lowry, you can tell, wants these hitters to chase, and it's going to be up to them to take these balls and make her bring it over the plate, try to get the bat in the hands of Ella McDowell with multiple runners on.
Bain's .551 OBP entering the weekend the best among Division I freshmen. Already a walk in tonight's game, riding a 4-game hit streak coming into the night. Ahead in the count 2-0. Handcuffed, popped up, and made behind home on the run by Kendall Wells. And the Hogs are down to their final out. Ella McDowell's last at bat resulted in a solo shot to put Arkansas on top.
Yeah, and she is a gamer. That curveball just did not get in enough. She got all of it. That at the time had given Arkansas the lead. That solo home run, her 11th of the season.
He has reached in all 3 at bats tonight. One count from Lowry. Her 100th pitch of the night. Gets past Kendall Wells. Johnson scooting up to second base.
You know, I'd be very, very, very careful with Ella McDowell. You have a pinch hitter on deck who is going to be in place of Dakota Kennedy. See if Ella McDowell will get herself out like a couple of the hitters have already in this inning, but you do not want to give her anything too good to give Arkansas momentum.
Up the middle into center field. Kai Miner comes up throwing. Johnson into home. And cuts the deficit to 2 on the 2-out RBI single by Ella McDowell.
You'll take that. Not, yeah, you'd rather her just that single to score 1 run than a home run where she can get her hands extended to score 2. But it's 1 out away for Oklahoma, and now to face a pinch hitter and not have to face Dakota Kennedy, who has just been so clutch this year.
Cam Harrison represents the game-tying run with 2 outs. Just 15 at-bats this year for a young lady who also pitches for the Razorbacks.
See Ella McDowell giving her some details here, communicating about what she's going to see. This is going to be her first at bat. Harrison, a right-handed hitter, just like McDowell. Look at this leadership of McDowell right here, who's had a fantastic game, just a sophomore. Telling her all the details, everything that she knows about her spin, what it looks like, what to look for, probably some extra belief in Harrison in this moment. Not easy to do at all.
Her last hit came February 28th against Charlotte. Now being called upon in place of Dakota Kennedy, who exited the game with an apparent injury a couple of innings ago.
And if I'm Lowry, I'm coming right at you. You haven't seen me this whole game, probably a little bit fatigued at this point. It's the 7th inning. She's throwing 102 pitches. I love the fact that I get to face a hitter for potentially the last out who hasn't seen me.
And if you're Cam Harrison, what's your approach?
Make her bring it up. Try to get her curveball. She wants you to chase that drop ball. Try to get her curveball through the zone. And that's what has made Lowry so difficult this season, is because she's been able to throw both her drop and her rise effectively. Split in the zone with both.
Should Harrison reach, Tiana Bell awaits on deck, who has already homered off Lowry tonight. Harrison in the driver's seat with a 3-1 count. Arkansas down to their final strike. Harrison delivers. Fair ball down right field. McDowell rounding third. She will score. Harrison makes it a 1-run game with a 2-out RBI double.
What a great at-bat by Cam Harrison. Remember, McDowell was giving her insight. Maybe it helped, maybe it didn't, but the fact is that she just ripped an extra base hit the opposite way right down the line. The last hit that Cam Harrison had was February 28th versus Charlotte. Since then, she has had 2 at-bats, and now she pulled Arkansas within 1 run of tying this game on the road.
And now Tiana Bell will come to the plate with a game-tying run in scoring position. Ramsey Walker will come in to pinch run for Harrison at second base as we have a pitching change for the Sooners. It is Alyssa Parker who finished the game for Oklahoma in Wednesday's loss against Oklahoma State.
Well, and Alyssa Parker was a bright spot for Oklahoma in that game on Wednesday night. When she entered into the game, the energy started to shift for Oklahoma. They were lethargic, just didn't quite look themselves, and then Alyssa Parker entered the game as the 3rd pitcher. As Lowry gets a fantastic round of applause from this crowd, but Alyssa Parker shifted the energy when she came in relief, also had a hit when she had an opportunity to hit late in that game. She is a competitor, wants the ball, and has been feeling very comfortable in the circle at attacking hitters.
And she will face the great 2-time all-conference transfer from Cal, Tiana Bell, who earlier tonight hit her 13th home run of the season.
That ball was a towering fly ball that got out of her. So if and when Alyssa Parker goes hard in, she has to be careful with those quick hands and the power that Bell has toward the pull side. But we've seen Parker really stay down in the zone, low with her drop ball. I'm sure she'll want to mix in that changeup a little bit. It is tantalizingly slow. And I think she's going to work her low and away to try to get this last out.
Walker, the pinch runner at second base, represents the game-tying run with 2 outs in the 7th.
45 miles an hour is what Parker throws her changeup at, and it just floats in. That pitch is so crazy slow.
Tiana Bell's 48 RBI lead the Hogs in the midst of a record-breaking offensive season. 1-1 up the middle. Fielded deep by Agbayani, and that'll do it. OU takes game 1 from the jaws of defeat. 8-7 in Norman.
That was not an easy final play by Agbayani, but this defense wanted to show up, especially after what happened on Wednesday night. And when you look to see how Agbayani attacked that last ground ball, there was no way she was going to let that get through the infield. Going to do everything it took to get that final out, not give Arkansas a chance to tie this game. And you have to believe, Matt, that this is a tough loss for Arkansas. You show up on the road, pull ahead of the #1 team in the country at Loves Field, 4-0. Robin Herron is dealing, and then Bella Emmerling with the grand slam. This game completely flipped on its head because of that swing, and OU just continue to fight in a way that we did not see on Wednesday night.
OU snaps the 2-game skid. Had not lost 3 in a row since 2011, and they avoid doing so tonight with a comeback victory in a game in which they trailed 4-0 early. And that smile by Patty Gasso walking off with her son JT says all you need to know about how important this game was, Amanda. Not just to get a win, but to see something, to see an edge, to see the fight, to see her team bow up in the way that she challenged them to after losses to their 2 rivals this week.
And there were just a lot of moments, and you think about the Alexa McDaniel pinch hit double that pushed across a run, and just a good piece of hitting by Pickering for the sac fly in the 6th inning for that 1 extra insurance run that ended up being the 8th run of this game. It gave them a 1-run win now.
Bella Emmerling was one of a couple of heroes tonight for Oklahoma. With 1 swing, completely changed the game. A grand slam, Amanda, her 9th, and to opposite field.
When she swings, she just absolutely lets it rip. More of a line drive over the right field wall, and put together great at-bats in front of her to load the bases for her to come up in that situation for her 9th career grand slam.
Bella joins us now. Take us through that at-bat. Your team's down 4-zip, bases are loaded, bat is in your hands.
Yeah, honestly, I was just trying to pass the bat to Cassidy Pickering. That's been our big motto this year, and I was just really proud of my teammates for getting on, and I just was trying to do it any way I could for them, and it worked in my favor. So,
Bella, what was your mindset as a senior coming into this season?
I think it was just trying to be the best teammate I could be for my, my girls. We got a lot of young faces, and if I can help them in any way I can, whether that be on the field or off the field, that's what my job is here, and I just want to be a big sister to all of them.
Bella, what did your team show tonight? 2 losses to rivals coming into this game, the challenge in the post-game presser from Patty Gasso. What did you guys show tonight with this comeback win?
Just grit, working hard, and just the thought that we're not going to be denied today. We learned from our mistakes and we pushed through them. And today, I like to use the word ruthless. I thought we were good at that, and we just punched back.
Bella, congratulations on the win. You stay atop the SEC standings. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
They trailed by 4 early. Then they trailed 5-4. Oklahoma comes back for their 15th come-from-behind victory of the season. And they lead the SEC with a 14-2 record. For Amanda Scarborough, Matt Schumacher saying so long from Norman. Oklahoma takes game 1 against number 6 Arkansas.
Pushed to be my best.